BaKahal, a Devar Torah for Parashat Ki-Tetze. Welcome to another Devar Torah that will probably go nowhere. I hope you forgive me this time as well. Many of the mitzvot that make up this week's Parasha are dedicated to marriage. Let me rephrase that. Many of the mitzvot that make up this week's Parasha are dedicated to things to avoid in a healthy marriage. Eshet Yefaat Toar, the son of a beloved wife and a hated one, Sorer Umoreh, and much more. Within this list are those whom the Torah warns against marrying in the first place, and with them I will begin. In Perek Pesukim bet ad tet is a list of people who are forbidden to come into the congregation of God, or לבוא בקהל. What does this mean? Who gets to join this dubious list? The ptzua, שפכה, according to Rashi, a man who injures his reproductive organs, a mamzer, an Ammonite, a Moabite, forever, and an Egyptian and Edomite until 3 generations passed. Many questions can be asked about this list, but I'll address the use of the term לבוא בקהל, join the congregation. The very definition of marriage in this way takes it out of the private realm and into the public domain, and is the basis of Shaddai's statement, "Blessed is he that has sanctified us with his Torah and his commandments, and makes marriage for the maintenance of the species and the success of society, not simply for the pleasure of the moment." In contrast to Hollywood's concept that when marriage was still an interest in Hollywood, that the purpose of marriage is love between the couple, Shaddai points out that marriages are for giving birth, that's why eunuchs are not allowed to come in the crowd, and the success of society, that is why those who grow up in cultures that don't encourage healthy families are shunned. There are many different directions I can take it from here. I can, as many halacha and commentators do, try to find out who is Kahal Hashem, and does the prohibition apply in the case of relations without marriage. I can try to find out why Rashi doesn't interpret the first time that the phrase appears in ptzua, but waits till Pasuk Gimel, the mamzer. I can check why Rashi feels the need to repeat the commentary one more time with the Ammonite, but not with the Edomite. I will do none of these things. Instead, I will mention 3 sources in Tanakh where the commandment becomes relevant, at least in my opinion. Both later sources correspond directly with our verses. In Megillat Eicha, Yirmiyahu laments the wrongdoers who are forbidden to come BaKahal when they come into the Mikdash. Although it's not written explicitly, all commentators I found agree that the Pasuk discusses Ammon and Moab. The only question is whether their entry into the temple is a reason for the punishment, that's what the Akedat Yitzchak thinks, or a result. For example, the person who holds this opinion is Rabbi Yosef ibn Kaspi. The second source is Nehemiah, when the exiles understand that the Ammonim and Moabim are forbidden to come into the congregation of God, לבוא בקהל Elokim, because they did not precede the Israelites, lo kidmu et haYisraelim belechem ubemayim, with bread and water, and they distinguish or they separate every erev miYisrael, all those who are mixed up. Although the interpretation attributed to Rashi explains they separated from all the peoples around them, meaning everybody, most commentators explain that it was only from the Ammonim and Moabim. Here too I could have taken the investigation in different directions, such as trying to understand why Rashi claims that the exile alienated all the nations, or trying to claim that the Gentiles who came to the temple were not Ammon and Moab, but those of many mamzerim among them. Although not the correct temple, see the legend of how Rome was founded by Remus and Romulus, and that really works. And once again, I will not commit myself, but move on to a third source. The third time this phrase appears is, I guess, a bit less intuitive. After Pilegesh Bagiva, the Israelim swore to 2 great oaths. The first, no one shall give his daughter to the tribe of Binyamin as a wife, and the second, that anyone who did not go to war would be killed. The problematic result of these 2 oaths is that the Israelim kill the residents of Yavesh Gilad and give the virgin woman of whoever is left to Shevet Binyamin, and kidnap women from among the virgins dancing in the vineyards and giving also them to Shevet Binyamin. The story is horrendous, but the terminology is fascinating. The Israelim say that Mi asher lo ala BaKahal, he who did not come up in the crowd, must die. So what, you ask? We're not discussing ala BaKahal, but BaKahal. Right, but in the Pasuk Chet, we find that no one from Yavesh Gilad ba el HaKahal. Beyond the similar phrases, there are other similarities between the stories. Both are about forbidden marital relations. Both have the war in the background. Both have people that were inhospitable. and much more. I don't know what I'm trying to prove, or even if I'm trying to prove anything. I don't have a message that I'm trying to convey beyond Pileget Bagiv'ah wasn't fun, but even if I'm not trying to prove anything, I'm still Jovi Holtz, one who loves Tanakh.